Let's get back to Phil Kosin and Chicagoland Golf on 670 The Score.
If you missed any of the first hour of the show, you can go to 670thescore.com and download a podcast. If you're going to listen for a little while and then you've got to run to the first tee, because I know there's a lot of guys sitting in their cars right now listening and finishing their coffee, you can also go and get the podcast for the part of the show you missed, and we'd love to have you do that because this is such a great show and I'm such a great guy. No. It would help both me and Dave because we need the work. Hey, I got a question for you, NASCAR Dave, before we bring in Kevin Weeks.
Yes.
Why all of a sudden are the podcasts, and people are asking me, why are they now two-parters?
It's just easier to download that way. It takes less time. And a lot of people don't want to, a lot of people want to listen to certain points and everything.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask. So those of you who emailed me asking the question, there you have it. All right, the next guy with us is, he's based out of Cog Hill. He came up with a very unique device for teaching and analyzing. Actually, he's the first guy to come up with an electronic device that actually quantified your putting stroke. Now, a lot of guys claim to be able to do that, but they're all full of horse hockey. Kevin Weeks. Kevin, you like that, horse hockey? Kevin Weeks came up with Jim Shinoa. They collaborated on this gizmo. Kevin with the electronics, because he did go to school to be an engineer, and Jim Shinoa, who also worked for Wilson for years and then other companies designing golf clubs and other things. Tell us, Kevin, first of all, about the device and what it's done for your career.
First of all, good morning, Phil. How are you?
I'm just peachy.
What it does is it uses a laser, and it shows where your putter is aimed at address. And by using high-speed video, you can tell where you're aimed at impact, not only direction, but loft on the putter. And it also tells how your putter works through the golf ball. And what it's done is I've just learned so much about putting and putters and how the ball comes off the face. It's really helped me understand the whole matrix of putting and everything involved. It's not just the stroke, it's not just the loft, it's how all the pieces fit together.
Okay, so you have this machine, and you're probably still learning about the putting stroke. I think you'd admit that.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the things that fascinated me is when years ago it started during the Western Open, that you had, Kevin, tell the audience, Kevin Weeks is the only guy I know that goes to work every day in a barn. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yes, it is.
It's that barn at the end of the range at Cog Hill. But your place is like a beehive when the tour is in town because no matter, and I explained this to the listeners in the beginning of the hour, there's a lot of the big-name teachers are sensitive, and they might not be the world's best putting teacher, or the player wants to get a second opinion on his putting stroke, which probably is not working too well. And he doesn't want to offend the big-name pro that's working with him on his swing. So then they have to kind of, on the sneak, come in and see you. Is that right?
That's very well put, yes.
I said you could tell when you go to Cog Hill to play, you could tell which guys those are because they're the ones walking in with the bag over their head.
Right. Almost, yeah.
Sunglasses, fake beards, Groucho glasses, How many tour pros have you worked with?
I've worked with over 45 in the last 4 years.
Is there a common fault that pretty much runs through most of these guys?
Yeah, they're not making putts.
No, come on.
There's really, on those guys, there's not one thing that I can put a finger on and saying this is what they're doing. Either they're not hitting their line, they're not starting the ball where they want to start it, or the speed control, something in their stroke, the way the ball's coming off the face. They don't have good command of the speed, which it takes both to make a little 12-foot downhill, side hill putt. And those are the ones that the guys that are winning are making.
You're not going to find a guy winning a lot of tournaments. Yeah, I mean, you can miss fairways, you could do this, you could do that, but if you're not in that top third of the putting stats, you're not winning a lot of money, are you?
No, you're not.
Now, our guest is Kevin Weeks, and let me throw this out now. Our number is 312-644-6767. NASCAR Dave White's answering the phones. I'm sure he's got some help today. If you want to ask Kevin a question about your putting, and, you know, of course, maybe, Kevin, our entire listening audience is perfectly satisfied with the way they putt, then we won't get any phone calls. I just wanted to mention, though, that Nicole Giray of Berwyn, playing on the Futures Tour, they're down at the Louisiana Pelican Classic in Lafayette, Louisiana. Nicole started out yesterday. I don't know if you saw the paper or the release this morning, but she shot 369 in the opening round down at the Wetlands, and she's tied for second place.
Good for her.
Apparently, just like Florida, where she finished tied for second 2 weeks ago, I guess the wind's blowing down there. So Nicole is showing one of those Chicago characteristics. Any Chicago golfer that plays a lot of golf knows how to play in the wind.
Absolutely.
All right.
No doubt about
Kevin,
that.
Man of many words this morning.
Yeah.
What you work with Nicole, don't you?
I haven't seen her in a year or so. But, yeah, I worked with her for 6 or 7 years up until then.
So maybe that's why she's playing well.
That's what I was going to say.
Kidding.
She got rid of me, so she's playing good.
Who are some of the players that you've worked with that you can tell us?
Two guys, Mark Wilson and Michael Bradley, who
Go ahead.
Who both won within 2 weeks of each other on the tour this year. They're the two guys that, and they both have said something, so I don't mind saying who they are.
Okay. All right, let's take a phone call, and we'll develop other topics with Kevin Weeks as we go along the line. 312-644-6767. We go to Sal in McHenry. You're on with Kevin Weeks, and welcome to The Score.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Sal.
Hey, I've got, it's always bothered me. I watch old-time film of Hogan and whatnot. The essential golf swing has always stayed the same, but the putting stroke has just changed dramatically over the last, over 5 decades of golf. Why is that?
A lot of it has to do with the speed of the greens and technology and what they can do. The old guys, the greens were very similar to what the tee boxes are today, and you needed more of a pop stroke to get the ball up. You didn't want it on the ground as quickly as you do today, so they popped it, plus they had to hit it harder because it was slower.
All right.
Yeah, one day I was at Cog Hill with Jeff Slurman, and Jeff said, you see how much what we're getting, the speed of these fairways nowadays? And I said, yeah. He said, this is what the greens at Butler National were years ago. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the old putter, Sal, I have a Bobby Jones Calamity Jane, one of the original wooden models. And it has 12 degrees of loft on it. How many degrees of loft do you have on an average putter today, Kevin?
3 to 4.
Yeah. You needed that 12 degrees of loft to get the ball up in the air because the greens were pretty shaggy compared to what we're used to today. So when you recommend specs for a person's putter, and when you come out to see you at Cog Hill, you put them on the machine, you give them the whole analysis, you kind of give them a lesson. You also will write a prescription for a putter. How do you determine how much loft they need?
By filming, by seeing where they are at impact, because loft is effective. Phil Mickelson, you look how far forward he has his hands in his putting. He probably has 7 or 8 degrees of loft on his putter to get it where the ball will come off the face properly. Somebody that sits with their hands back is going to have less loft. So you want to get somewhere between 2.5 and 4 degrees of loft effective at impact. And it also, you have to factor in, is the player hitting down on the ball? Are they hitting up? How the ball is coming off the face. So I've got a camera that shoots 1,000 frames a second. I zero in on the ball, how it comes off the face, and I want the ball to get up in the air with a little top spin, and so whatever loft it takes to get that is where they need to be. And if I need to, I'll bend the putter, the loft to get it where it should be. So there's no one set answer for everybody.
How many tour pros or accomplished players have you seen where they have a reasonably good, accurate putting stroke, but they struggle trying to read the speed of the greens and the break?
Tour players, not that much. And that's one of the things that I'm seeing different between the tour player, the club pro, a good player, and the average amateur. The better the player, the more they have the ability to read the greens and judge the speed at which they're going to roll the ball around the hole.
Isn't that one of those things that you're born with the imagination and then you have to go out and practice reading greens? I think imagination has a lot to do with it. And also you have to understand the mechanics of what a golf ball will do on a green, depending on how the grass is cut.
Absolutely, you're 100% correct. It takes that imagination. There are some things you can do to help you. One of the best things that I ever did to learn how to read greens was I had an old pro took me out on the golf course early one morning before they had cut the greens, and we just rolled the balls where you could see the dew trail. And that really helps me see in curves. Mm-hmm. Because to read a putt, you've got to see the curve on how it's going in. It's really hard to just pick a straight line and hit it on that line. Another thing that's helped is by using a string, hitting putts, seeing where it breaks, and just watch where you have to start, and then you can start to see, and it helps develop the imagination. But you also have to spend some time working on your speeds, because if you don't have speed control, it really doesn't matter if you're hitting your lines, because the ball's not going to be near the hole anyway.
We're talking to Kevin Weeks. We're talking putting. If you have a question about your putting, 312-644-6767. We have a few phone lines open this morning. It's 7:15. We take a break, Dave?
Sure.
Okay. Kevin, hang on.
Sure.
And we'll come back. When we come back, I want you to answer the question about how you size up a green based on its design, how the water drains, and we'll also talk a little bit about plumb bobbing. Is it something the average guy can use? Is it something that a lot of people will just use it as part of their repertoire, but they don't have a clue in China about how it works? And we'll talk about that when we come back. This is Phil Kosin. This is the Chicagoland Golf Show. This is The Score, Sports Radio 670, and this is CBS Radio Chicago. How do you get to the PGA Tour? The same way you get to Carnegie Hall. Practice, practice, practice. You can get unlimited range balls, unlimited twilight golf, only $29 a month. Go to forestpreservegolf.com/score. Certain restrictions apply. Contract required. See website for details. Teaching pro Kevin Weeks, one of the best putting instructors in the country, is on the line with us this morning, and we've got some more callers for you at 312-644-6767. Let's try to keep these to about maybe a minute apiece on the answers, Kevin. so we can get them all in. We got Jim. Let's start out with Jim in Clarendon Hills. Jim, welcome to the Score. You're on with Kevin Weeks.
Good morning, Jim.
Jim, are you there? All right, Dave, let's take Frank in a car phone.
That was an easy one, Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil, Nicole.
You know what? He's a mime.
Nicole says hello. I just texted her.
Oh, did you? All right, we got Frank on a car phone, Dave.
Hello.
Hi, Frank. Go ahead. You're on with Kevin Weeks.
I have a question. When you're out on the course and you go from one green to the next, the greens are different. Which way is the best way to set a putt? Harder, longer, whatever.
Most of the time when the greens are slower and faster, look at the color. Sometimes the greens, when that sit down, they maintain water. So if they're darker, they're slower. If they're lighter in color, they're drier and they're faster. That's the easiest way to determine which one it's going to be.
Okay, does that answer your question? Yeah, I guess he's gone. Okay, let me ask you a question. It always makes me laugh because I hear Johnny Miller always talking about grain. We don't have grain on bentgrass greens. So why does he always talk about it? You're close to Johnny.
Very close.
Yeah, Johnny, it's Kevin.
I think it gives you something to talk about. I agree. And even
it's a fetish with him.
It is. And, Johnny was never known as a great putter. Maybe that's part of the reason.
What do you have to do there? What's the secret? You have to either blame your putter or blame the grain on the greens because you're afraid to admit to yourself you got the yips?
Yes.
Okay.
For a short answer, yeah.
Okay.
You blame a player will blame anything but themselves because it can't be their fault.
That's right. The old line, on the first hole, I made birdie. On the second hole, we made bogey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that answers that question. Let's go to Ed in a car phone. Hi, Ed. You're on with Kevin Weeks.
Hey, Kevin. How you doing?
Good. And you, Ed?
Real good, thanks. Hey, what's the availability of your service to the average golfer, and what does it cost?
It's for adults, it's $150 an hour. And when I'm in town, which is most of the time, only time I'm out, just when I'm out on the tour, is I'm teaching 7 days a week.
Okay. Now, how many sessions do you normally go to square somebody up?
Depends.
As many as he can. At $150 an hour, he's like your attorney. As many as he can. I'm just kidding.
Does that come with a cell phone number also, or?
Yeah, I get cell phone. I get calls and emails 4 or 5 a day of people that have had lessons and have a question. That just comes with the territory.
All right, well, great. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Ed. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I have been around many teaching pros that have a lot of tour players in their stable, so to speak. One thing that seems to run true with all of them, and I'm sure you could tell us some real interesting stories, not only are you their teacher, you're their friend, you're their mentor, you're a light in the darkness, because a lot of them lead kind of a lonely life.
Oh, yeah.
But you're also, you also wipe the tears, and you're a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a sports psychologist, and that's one thing that Mark mentioned in one of the interviews he gave when someone asked him a question about me. And he mentioned something about he didn't know how I put up with all the whining from the tour players.
Yeah. Well, when Mike Adams was up here years ago and doing some golf schools for us, I couldn't believe it. We went out to lunch, and his phone rang like 17 times during lunch. Hi, how are you? Oh, how did you feel today? Can you keep that feeling again tomorrow? The tour players, professional golfers, are not only superstitious like baseball players, but they're so much more insecure. Would that be a true statement?
Some of them are, absolutely. There's some that are very mentally tough, mentally strong. You tell them what to do, they go do it. There's no issues. And there's some that, it's high maintenance.
Okay, we'll take one more break. We'll come back with Kevin Weeks. I've got some phone lines open at 312-644-6767. Now's the time to get some advice on your putting. I'm Phil Kosin. This is the Chicagoland Golf Show. You're listening to The Score, Sports Radio 670, CBS Radio, Chicago. The Chicagoland Golf Show. And by the way, I was remiss when I was talking about Nicole Jure shooting 69 yesterday in the Louisiana Pelican Classic on the Futures Tour. And again, congratulations to Nicole. I should have mentioned that my buddy Jenna Pearson from Wheaton, who is also, like Nicole, a former Illinois Women's Open champion. Jenna shot 75 yesterday. She's struggling a little bit. She works with some of the teaching pros at Arrowhead. So we're on. We got some phone callers for Kevin Weeks, the putting guru that parks himself at Cog Hill if he's not out gallivanting, working with tour players at the tour events. Let's start out with Ken in Clarendon Hills. You're on with Kevin Weeks, and welcome to The Score.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Ken.
By the way, you got a great teaching cog with Jeff Rimsnyder.
Opie.
He taught my son, who's now a professional down at Columbia Field.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I've watched two professionals over their careers, Watson and Crenshaw. Two different strategies to approaching the hole. Mm-hmm. What approach would you recommend?
I don't have one approach. After studying the stroke, I've identified 5 different strokes, and I try to do what the individual natural tendencies are.
So you kind of do what Doc said when he was talking about the full swing. You kind of try to match it, to a player's body type?
Well, to their body type or what they do naturally, how they rotate the putter. Do they swing it open? Does the putter face open on the backswing? Do they shut it down? Do they in, down the line, block it? Do they end out, release it? I try not to do reconstruction unless I have to.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Ken. Let's go
That's
to
a great
Skip.
question.
Yes, it is. You know, the listeners, we have really smart listeners here, Kevin. Let's go to Skip at Lewis University.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Skip.
Just wondered, I have 2 things. My girls tend to put a little too much pressure on the putter on the ground before they go into their stroke. I'd like you to comment on that. And also, is there a particular drill that you have that will allow them to develop a more consistent backstroke and not have a tendency to either go open or closed with it?
I think the opening and closing is inherent. I think that's just what you do. Whether you open it or close it going back, that's just one of the things that you do. I haven't had much success changing people that do that. There's some of it has to do with the grip. If the grip is proper, that's just what you do.
Do you use the palms facing grip for almost everybody, or is there a particular conventional grip that you prefer?
I prefer the palms facing each other, but if somebody comes in and they're a good putter and there's not facing and they're making putts, I don't change it.
Okay.
Skip, are you the women's coach at Lewis?
Yes,
Oh, what's your full name?
Skip Steffi, S-E-E-F-F-E-Y.
Okay, and you got scholarships to give out?
I don't have any for this fall, but I do for the following year.
All right. Ladies, if you're a good player, you ought to come and go fishing at my Illinois Women's Open.
Well, I've actually referred about 5 girls this year to go play, and I had 2 girls play last year.
Good, I appreciate it. We thank you for that.
Skip, just give me a call sometime.
All right, we'll do, Kevin. Thanks a lot. You got a great show going, Phil.
Thank you, Skip. Let's go to Corey in Montgomery.
Hey, Kevin, this is Corey Pereira. It's been a while since we've talked. We keep trading phone messages.
Absolutely. How you doing, Corey?
I'm good.
That's it? No question? I mean...
I'm actually Mark Wilson's physical therapist, so Kevin and I have worked together quite a bit.
Absolutely.
To help him out, so.
And so you called in to put in a cheesy plug for yourself, or what?
No, I keep trying to get a hold of Kevin, and we keep trading phone messages, and never get a hold of him.
We're playing the longest game of phone tag in the history of Earth.
Well, one of these days we're going to get Mark on this show, I think, I hope.
I called Kevin after Mark's win and told him I wanted a refund because I got a putting lesson from him about 6 months ago, and I didn't get anything out of it. So.
Well, you know, like a good friend of mine said, you can't put in, Corey, what God left out.
Well, were you listening a while back where I explained to that guy when he asked how many times do I have to come back? I said as often as possible. That's how it's a scam with these teaching pros. They just get you right to the point, and then they just leave you hanging there because that's their living. It's like printing money.
Well, you know, it's a lot like a physical therapist. Just when you think you've got that body part, they still want to work on something else.
That's right.
You know, your ankles look very weak.
Hey,
all right, well, thanks.
I will keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll catch up this summer.
I hope so, Corey. You keep it up also. You're doing a great job over there.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Corey. Let's go to Bill in Naperville. And we're taking calls at 312-644-6767 for Kevin Weeks. Mike in Oak Lawn, you're next. Go ahead, Bill in Naperville.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How are you this morning?
Pretty good. Hey, I've noticed that a lot of really good players putt with the toe of their putter up off the turf.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't strike me as a very good idea. It seems like it leaves you vulnerable to the putter twisting if you happen to catch a little bit of turf on the heel of the putter. And I also noticed that it's very hard to find a putter with it seems like the lies on the putters that you can purchase don't vary by much.
Most of the time when the toe's up in the air, they're either that's one of the ways to get it to come to the inside and let it release. And the putters you're not going to dig with the heel because most people hit up on a putt around 2 to 4.5 degrees.
Remember Esau Aoki? You guys remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy that had the toe up in the air. You could put a golf ball under it.
Oh, yeah, with everything. And a phenomenal bunker player. You would think he wouldn't be. He was one of the best bunker players I ever saw.
So how does, you see a guy that putts like that, and the tendency would be, if you didn't know who he was, you'd try to correct that, right?
Right. And that's where you look at, if they're a good putter and things aren't broken, you don't fix it. I don't fix things just to make them look pretty. I change things to make it work better.
It all comes down to what, years ago, George Lowe, who was arguably one of the better putting teachers, and same as his father, George Lowe Jr. was used to hang around St. Andrews out in West Chicago. So one day I went there, and of course he was always willing to get a putting lesson if you had cash. But I asked him one day, I said, what is the secret to making more putts? And he looked at me and he said, hit the ball so it goes in the hole. Now, on the surface, that sounds funny, but you know what? It's true. Yeah. And I think Kevin can tell us how much PGA Tour players or tour players in general and good players in general overcomplicate things, right?
Oh, absolutely. And you're just rolling the ball down the line. You can't make the ball go in. You roll it down the line, the speed that gives the hole the best chance to catch it, let the hole catch it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Okay, Bill, thanks for your call. I hope that helps.
Thank you.
You can get a hold of Kevin at Cog Hill. Let's go to Mike in Oak Lawn. Hi, Mike. You're on with Kevin Weeks.
Hey, Kevin, I have a hard time making short putts when I just watch the ball or like that spot by the ball, but I make more of them when I watch the putter go back and through.
Great. Watch the putter go back and through.
All right, you don't have a problem with that?
I have no problem with that. If the ball's going in the hole, I have no problem with that.
Well, it's not going in the hole every time, but more often than when I just look at the spot.
Right. when people aren't making short putts, it's generally because they're trying to make them.
Okay.
You pick that line, you pick the speed, you let the hole catch it. So by watching the putter go back and through, you're freeing your mind of all the anxieties that are keeping you from just letting it go. So watch the putter go back and through.
Okay,
Johnny Miller putted for years. He put a dot in the end of his putter by the grip, and he watched the grip.
Okay.
Hey, did you know that Johnny Miller shot 63 in the U.S. Open on Sunday?
And I was hoping Phil was going to shoot 62 at the Masters on Sunday so we could quit hearing about his 63 at Oakmont.
Yeah. We're getting close to July, to June, and I'm sure we're going to hear it all over again, guys. Okay, does that answer your question, Mike?
Mike is left, so I guess that's it.
Mike left us? Okay, let's. We got one more here. Jerry in a car. You're on with Kevin Weeks.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Kevin, I consider myself a fairly decent putter. I mean, I don't have any problem with lag putts. When I'm in that 6 to 6 foot range, I burn so many edges. It just drives me crazy. I don't miss by a lot. I just miss by the edge. Just burn the edge every time.
What I would tell you is I would make sure that you put a line on your golf ball and make sure that you're aimed correctly. Make sure that you're aimed correctly so you've got a better vision of your line that you're trying to start the ball on. From what little I could understand of your question, you had a real bad connection.
Yeah, we let Jerry go, but hopefully. Well, you can always call Kevin and go see him at Cog Hill. And to do that, the phone number is
630-301-9357, or if you're kevinweeks.com on the internet.
There you go. You anticipate a good season as long as they keep crapping out on putting, Kevin. You're going to have a job, and I think you're guaranteed a long life of being a teacher.
Well, I appreciate that. I've had a great year so far. It's off to a great start, that's for sure. And it doesn't hurt that it's 70 degrees and sunny, and we got golfers here at Cog this morning.
You got your little sign. Kevin Weeks available, vacancy?
Actually, this weekend there are no vacancies.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see, at $150 an hour, you probably work 16 hours a day. Wow.
Not quite that many, Phil. I'm not you.
I have done that, and it didn't do me any good. So, well, good luck. Have a good year, and anybody that needs to get some real serious help with their putting, get fitted for a putter. If that's frustrating you and that's what's keeping you from really putting together some good scores, go see Kevin. That's all we can do. We can highly recommend him from this show. Okay, that should do it, Pro.
Phil, I appreciate it. It's been great talking to you.
I know you got an 8 o'clock, so I'll let you go.
And, Phil, to this day, you're still one of the top 3 or 4 putters that's ever come through the studio.
You're serious?
I'm serious. That's
well, you know what? The best part of that was your wife, Marla, was standing there watching, and you said, pick a putter off the rack, because I didn't have mine with me that day, and I think I made, 9 out of 10 at what? How many feet is that?
18 feet.
Yeah.
That's still one of the most impressive things I've seen.
I always considered myself a good putter, and I've never had a lesson, and I'm not touching anything. It's just, it's very natural. Mm-hmm. And I have a good eye for reading greens. I have a good imagination. I mean, look, after all these years, I imagined that I could do a radio show, and here it is. I imagined that I could write about golf, and there it is. Maybe I'm fooling myself.
I don't think so.
No, it was nice of you to say that. I appreciate it.
Bill, you have a great day.
It was one of my prouder moments. There aren't too many of them, but that was one of them. Thanks, Kevin. It's Kevin Weeks from Cog Hill, putting teacher. And, yes, I did make 9 out of 10. What did he say that was, Dave? 18 feet?
18 feet, that's really impressive.
Yeah, well, it's the machine that you use. He's got all his gizmos, but you stand on a surface that Jim Shinoa designed, and it is a perfectly flat surface. So if you hit the ball at the back of the hole, that's where it's going to end up 18 feet away. And I've always had a good putting stroke. I mean, I love it when people press me. It's also always a good thing to have during match play, too, when somebody thinks they've got the hole one when you're 30 feet away and you can drop one in on them.
You're good under pressure, huh?
Well, the pressure of doing a major market radio show like this, the pressure of trying to keep a big-time producer like NASCAR Dave White happy, the pressure of making sure I got enough money at the end of the month to pay the mortgage. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? And I have played in some of those pro-ams where we've played in front of a crowd. First of all, I've never hit anybody like Bill Murray. But I actually played better in those things, I think, because I'm a wiener. I mean, I love showing off, and I think too much golf that I play has been social. And you're out there yakking, you know me, I'm always I know this could be hard for you to believe, but I don't often shut up on a golf course. But when I really have to bear down and grind and there's people watching, to me, it doesn't make me nervous as much as it's an opportunity to show off. I mean, I'll be honest about that. And usually I have been able to pull it off. So that's my game. I would hate to have to make a living with it, though. I'd weigh about 140 pounds. All right, we'll take a break and come back with a final word. This is Phil Kosin. It is the Chicagoland Golf Show. It's The Score, Sports Radio 670, and it's CBS Radio in Chicago. If you got a tee time at 8 o'clock, you got 6 minutes to get there. But you know what? If you missed some of the beginning of this show or any part of it, you can go to our website or 670 The Score. You can go to ChicagolandGolf.com. All kinds of cool stuff up on there to read, especially in my blog, because I'm irreverent. I guess that's a good way of saying nuts. You can download a podcast. That's the wave of the future, I think. And if you do it off the Score website if you can. Because what happens is then the Score, I think that counts toward the ratings, doesn't it, Dave?
From what I understand, yes.
Yeah, within, 48 hours, if they download a podcast, it counts towards the ratings for the station.
I don't know the exact timing, but that probably sounds about right. It's going up as we speak right now.
All right, cool. Gosh, I can't believe Kevin Weeks said that. Save that. We'll use that as a promo.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, that was awfully nice of him. Well, you know what? I've always played well, like in those pro-ams and everything, in front of a crowd. As I said, I'm kind of a performer. I'm a hot dog. I admit it. And I'm not afraid of crowds. I mean, when I was in junior college with Miss Weiser, I had speech. Football player, he took speech because it seemed like it was an easy credit. But I mean, I stood in front of the class with the index cards, sweating all over them with my hands. But the more you do that, it becomes second nature. Where I could sit and ad-lib a radio show for 2 hours, or most of the times when I have spoken in front of groups for 40 minutes, I might make some notes, write some little sentences out so I hit all my high points, but I pretty much ad-lib my way through that, too. It gets easy after a while, and I'm sure that's exactly the comfort level that we can equate to a guy like Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson sometimes when they play. I want to thank my guests, Jimmy Litke, the national columnist from AP, who lives here in Chicago, and Kevin Weeks. Thanks to Big Dave White and NASCAR Dave White for twirling the dials. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. And thanks for all the callers. Made the show once again. We'll be back again next week. I'm Phil Kosin saying, if you need anything, you can get a hold of us through ChicagolandGolf.com. You can read the blogs. We got all the latest news up there. Good stuff to read. We'll have an issue, our Postmasters issue in golf courses starting Tuesday afternoon. Until the next time, keep it in the short stuff, everyone. This has been a Pull My Finger production.
We're not above birds. Let's misbehave.
Thanks for tuning in to Chicagoland Golf with Phil Kosin on every Saturday from 6 to 8 a.m. on 670 The Score.